Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back. So today I have another dupe video for you guys, and I'm going to be comparing the CColor Cosmetics Around the World palette to the Urban Decay Born to Run. I had found out about this actually from you guys. A bunch of you were like blowing up my comment section during a recent dupe video and saying, have you tried CColor Cosmetics? Because they're amazing and they have a Born to Run dupe that is fantastic. So I was so excited to try this, and around the same time I actually heard from CColor Cosmetics. They had contacted me and said that they saw some of my other videos and asked if they could send me some products. So of course I was really excited to check them out. So they did send this to me, but this video is not sponsored. I'm not being paid or anything. So I'm really excited to test these out. I did swatch a few shades of this during one of my Sunday hauls when I first got it, and I was really impressed. But up until today, I had not compared these two at all. I haven't swatched them side by side, and I hadn't applied them to my eyes until just this morning. So I'm really excited to show you the side-by-side comparison on my eyes, as well as some side-by-side swatches. So why don't we go ahead and jump right in. So first off, let me just tell you a little bit about CColor, because I know a lot of you probably haven't heard of them. I hadn't either. I think they're a relatively newer brand. They sell their palettes on Amazon. They also have a website as well, and they're based out of Los Angeles. The palettes are made in China, just in case some of you guys are wondering about that as well. And they have so many dupes. I'll link to their Amazon site down below, and it's amazing how many dupe palettes they actually have. And what's really cool too is that they have some dupes out there that you haven't seen anywhere else. They have Jeffree Star dupes. They have the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie dupe. I think they even have a dupe for Manny MUA's palette. I mean, there's so many. So definitely head over and check out their Amazon page. And also, when you go to their Amazon page, don't forget to click the button below a palette to see some more versions of that palette, because there are some that actually do have multiple versions, like the Jeffree Star dupes, for example. You have to click on that button and then it'll bring them all up. But otherwise, you won't see it just in their general storefront. So that's just one little tip when shopping with them through Amazon. But getting back to this one, I feel like the packaging is really cute. They definitely stuck with the travel theme like Urban Decay has, but instead of like travel photos, they actually have flags from other countries. And I think the packaging is extremely similar. So when you open this up and look inside, it looks just like the Urban Decay palette. You have a nice mirror in here. I think the Urban Decay one is a little bit bigger now that I'm looking at it, but just looking at the palette side by side, they arranged the colors in the same order. One difference to note is that they didn't put the names of the shades in this palette, but if you don't mind that, then it's not really a big deal. Also, I would say the Urban Decay packaging feels a little bit heavier and more substantial. It has sort of like a plastic coating on it, while this one is just like your standard everyday cardboard palette, but it is very solid and secure. It has a magnetic closure, so if you're traveling with this, it's not going to open up on you. So that's packaging. And also I want to mention that these are 1.3 grams each, and the Urban Decay ones are 0.80 grams each. So you're actually getting more product in the CColor one than the Urban Decay. This one is $15.99. The Urban Decay is $49. So it's a big difference there. But the real question is, how do they stack up next to each other? Because there's no point in buying a dupe, no matter how cheap it is, if it doesn't perform well. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and insert some swatches for you guys so you can see all the shades next to each other and how they compare. But first, I just want to live swatch a couple of shades for you guys, because I feel like that gives you a better idea of how they perform next to each other. So first, let's go ahead with the Urban Decay. This is the shade Accelerate. So I'm just going to swatch that one for you guys right there. And then here's the CColor version of that shade. It doesn't have the same name, but as you can see, like, they swatch really similarly. They're both incredibly pigmented, although they don't appear to be exact color matches. So even though they look really similar in the pan, they don't swatch exactly. So let's go swatch another one. This is Big Sky from Urban Decay. And here it is right here. This is the one I'm wearing on my eyes today. And then here's the CColor version. So again, they don't look exactly the same, but they're pretty darn close. And I feel like once they're on your eyes, you can't tell the difference at all. And look at how similarly they swatch too. I feel like these are really pigmented. So let's go ahead and do a couple more. All right, this is the shade Wanderlust from Urban Decay. And then this is the comparable shade from the CColor version. Again, really similar. And then the last one, let's just go in with a matte shade. So I'm going to pick up the shade Baja from Urban Decay, and this one is that bright orange. So here's the Urban Decay version right here. And then here's the CColor one. I feel like this one, wow, that one actually goes on way smoother. It felt like the Urban Decay one had a little bit of drag to it. The Urban Decay one feels a little bit creamier and more velvety, and the CColor one feels not dry or scratchy, but like definitely a little bit less like thick and creamy, and I feel like it definitely has a better blend to it, at least in a swatch. So anyway, now I'll go ahead and just insert all the swatches for you side by side so you can see what they look like. And I had to break these up into 2 different swatches because there's just so many shades in these palettes. So I grouped all the matte shades together, and then I went ahead and grouped all of the shimmer shades together in the next one. And I really feel like these do not have a lot of difference between them when they're swatched. Some of the shades aren't exact dupes, but they're so close. Like I said before, I feel like once they're on your eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell. So anyway, let's go ahead now and get into the demo and see how these apply. I did the Urban Decay on one side and the CColor on the other. So starting with the Urban Decay palette, I used the shade Riff in my crease, and this is just a nice warm light brown shade. I love this one on my skin tone, and I use this one all the time when I was working with this palette. I think it goes really, really well with the next shade that I'm going to use, which is more cool tone, but I just love the contrast between the warm and cool. And one thing that I really love about this Urban Decay palette, I think it's one of their best formulas, and I mentioned that in my favorite palettes of 2018 video, because there's not a lot of fallout. It's very, very easy to work with and user-friendly, and I feel like the shades blend really nicely. And then on the CColor side, I grabbed the exact same shade. It doesn't have a name, but it's the same shade in the palette, and applied this one, and I felt like this one actually went on a lot more pigmented, so I had to spend extra time blending this one to get it to look like the Urban Decay side, because it just like kind of was super intense. So I definitely was not expecting that, and it's not a bad thing by any means, but it just meant that I had to blend a little bit more to get it to look like the other side. And then for my lid, I went in with the shade Big Sky from the Urban Decay palette. This is one of my favorite shades. I was using this one all summer for different looks, and I love it so much. And it's one of those shades that applies so well with a brush, and you don't even have to wet it for it to go on super intensely. So I really love that about it as well. Again, that's another reason this palette was one of my favorites last year. And then on the CColor side, I used the exact same shade. It applied just as well, and honestly, again, I felt like it went on a little bit more intensely than the Urban Decay one did. I don't know if that's just me, but as I was applying it and looking between the 2 eyes, I was thinking I might have to go back and apply a little bit more to the Urban Decay side, or maybe wet my brush over there, because this one just seemed a little bit more intense. And then for a little pop of dimension in the center of my lid, I went in with the shade Stranded, which is this beautiful gold shade. I just went ahead and applied that with my finger for a little bit more control. I really just wanted to tap it right in the center of my lid. And then I used the same one from the CColor palette. And once again, I have to say that it definitely was way more intense on the CColor side than it was on the Urban Decay. I didn't wet this one either. It just went on so beautifully, and it was so shiny and bright. So I love that. And then last but not least, I went in with that shade Big Sky again and lined underneath my eyes just to sort of bring everything together. And then I did that also on the CColor side as well. And then I went ahead and added a couple coats of the Mascara Revolution from Makeup Revolution. I've been loving that mascara lately. It gives me such big lashes. And then here's the finished result, and I really love the way this came out. And I really do think that the CColor side is just a little bit more intense than the Urban Decay side is. So I think that's amazing. I always get super excited when a dupe actually performs better than the original. Okay, so final impression, I feel like this CColor palette definitely exceeded my expectations. I'm always a little bit wary of brands that I don't know, but since you guys were recommending this to me, I felt like I really need to check it out. You guys don't normally steer me wrong, so I am so grateful to you guys for introducing me to this brand, because honestly, it's not just a color dupe. It actually performs the same, or even maybe slightly a little bit better than the Urban Decay. So that is a true dupe right there. Sometimes I'm talking about dupes and I'm mainly talking about, you know, they're the same colors, but you may need to like work with it a little bit more to get it to be the same as the original. But you know, when you're saving money, it's kind of like you don't mind working a little bit harder with it. But with this one, you really truly don't have to work harder at all. And other than having to blend the transition out a little bit to make it look like this one, which I wouldn't do if I were not comparing the 2 palettes, if I was just using this one on both eyes. It would look the same no matter what. So I am very, very excited to try more palettes from CColor now, and I do have a bunch more to share with you. I have some Huda Beauty dupes. I have a Tarte Clay Play dupe. They also said that they're going to be sending me some more of their new palettes. I noticed they have a new Jeffree Star dupe on their site. They also have some face palettes that look like the Too Faced Natural Love ones that came, was it Natural Love? I can't remember the name, but you know, the one that had the 2 blushes, 2 bronzers, and 2 highlighters. That one, they have a dupe for that now. So they're just really on fire lately, cranking out some new releases. So I'm very, very excited. They did say they were going to give me a coupon code, but I totally forgot to request it. So I'm going to do that. And hopefully by the time this video comes up, I will have the coupon code down in the description box below. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. And if you love dupe videos, definitely give this video a thumbs up so that I know and I can do more of them for you guys. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because if you like dupe videos, I do them all the time. I have a whole playlist that you can binge watch if you are new to my channel. And I do lots of other reviews throughout the week on a lot of drugstore makeup as well as occasionally high-end. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.